As the P. Diddy trial gets underway, there's a lot of talk about, is he guilty? Is he not guilty? What's the prosecution going to argue? What's the defense going to argue? And what is he charged with anyway? Well, let's start here. He's facing 5 charges. Number 1, racketeering. What does that mean? It means from the prosecution's perspective that he was running a criminal enterprise, that his business empire really was designed not so much to further his musical interest and to create success for him in that regard, but to serve his otherwise prurient desires, meaning for his own sexual gratification, and that he would use all of these people to get these freak-off parties and to do other things that were illegal and criminal. Racketeering, that's what that is. What are the other 4 charges? Well, 2 relate to the issue of what? Ultimately exploiting people for sexual activity, sexual trafficking, force, coercion, fraud, getting them here in that way without their consent. And then the other 2 involve prostitution across state line, bringing people in to have these otherwise freak-offs for his sexual desires. That's what the prosecution says, and they're going to build their case by using people who had long-term relationships with him so they can talk about sex, drugs, and rock and roll, right? Sex, whether or not it's consensual or not, who else was involved, what was the nature of those activities, right? Drugs, was there drug use, was there guns, was there other illicit things happening? And rock and roll, who was involved in his musical empire? What were they doing? What were they doing on his behalf? Were they serving as front people? Were they engaged in these illicit activities? That's the prosecution will say. Defense, however, is going to say nonsense. This is an empire that was predicated on blood, sweat, and tears from an honest individual who built it not for sexual exploitation, but who built it so he can become a giant in the music industry that so many have benefited from and so many can enjoy. And by the way, why should immorality be on trial? Why should there be judgment as to how people live their lives, whether they're swingers or other things? And this was all consensual. There was nothing about coercion. It was consent, so they will say, the defense. It's the battle of those narratives, criminality versus consensuality, as to what carries the day. Ultimately, there are 12 jurors. They have to be unanimous. That is, all have to agree as to guilt or innocence. And there are 6 alternates in case one of the jurors has to leave or is kicked off of that jury. Who will prevail? We will soon see. See you later and on YouTube for more. May the law be with you.